Imagine this. You're 9 months pregnant, your partner is away, and suddenly you realize this is it. The baby is coming now. Your friend rushes you to the hospital, but you don't make it in time. You give birth in her car. You think she's a hero, right? You're grateful beyond words. But then, she stops talking to you. Her husband sends you an angry message, and suddenly, the person who helped you through the most vulnerable moment of your life wants nothing to do with you. This is exactly what happened to one woman, and today we're going to break down what went wrong, why this friendship fell apart, and most importantly, how situations like this can actually be fixed. Stay with me, because this story has layers you won't expect. So let me set the scene for you. We have a 27-year-old woman. Let's call her Sarah, who's 38 weeks pregnant. That's almost full term. Her wife had to drive about an hour and a half away to help family, and Sarah's friend Alice, who's 31, offered to come keep her company for the day. Now, this is already really kind, right? Alice didn't have to do this. She chose to spend her day with a very pregnant friend just so she wouldn't be alone. They're watching movies, hanging out, and Sarah's feeling uncomfortable, but she's been uncomfortable for weeks, so she doesn't think much of it. This is important. First-time mothers often don't recognize labor symptoms right away. Then, reality hits. Sarah realizes she's actually in labor. She calls her wife, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Should they wait? Can they wait? But nature has other plans. Things escalate quickly, and Sarah asks Alice to drive her to the hospital. Alice agrees, again being an absolute friend in a crisis, but they don't make it. Sarah gives birth to her daughter right there in Alice's husband's car. Mother and baby are fine, thankfully, though Sarah had some complications that later resolved. You'd think this would be a story they'd laugh about years later, right? A wild bonding experience? Instead, 2 weeks later, Sarah is posting on Reddit asking how to fix a friendship that seems completely broken. Here's where things get complicated. 2 days after giving birth, Sarah sends Alice a message. She thanks her profusely, and this is important. She offers to pay to have the car cleaned. She tries to keep it lighthearted but sincere. Alice's response? She doesn't reply for a while, and when she does, she just likes the message. That's it. No words, no conversation. Sarah tries messaging a few more times. Nothing. Radio silence. Then Alice's husband steps in. He sends Sarah a message that basically says, "Stop messaging my wife. Congrats on the baby, but thanks for ruining my car." Now Sarah is completely lost. She's grateful, she's confused, she's hurt. This is totally out of character for Alice. They were good friends. And while Sarah admits she was never super close with the husband, and actually doesn't love how he sometimes speaks to Alice, they were still friendly. So what happened here? Why did a moment of crisis turn into a complete friendship breakdown? Let me tell you, there are multiple perspectives at play here, and understanding each one is crucial. Let's talk about what Alice might have experienced that day. First, understand that witnessing someone give birth unexpectedly, especially in a car, can be genuinely traumatic. This isn't an exaggeration. Alice wasn't prepared for this. She's not a medical professional. She was probably terrified. Think about it. She's responsible for getting her friend to safety, but the baby is coming now. She's probably panicking while trying to stay calm. She might be worried her friend or the baby could die. She has no idea what to do. Every second feels like an eternity. And yes, everything turned out fine, but Alice didn't know that in the moment. The fear, the adrenaline, the helplessness, these can leave a real psychological mark. There's also something else people aren't considering: the guilt. Alice might be feeling guilty that she couldn't get Sarah to the hospital in time. Even though it's not her fault, trauma doesn't follow logic. She might be replaying the whole thing thinking, what if something had gone wrong? Some people process trauma by withdrawing. They need space. They can't talk about it because talking about it means reliving it. But here's another angle, and this one's uncomfortable but real. Alice's husband. Sarah mentions she doesn't love how he speaks to Alice sometimes. That's a red flag that suggests the husband might be controlling or dismissive. What if he's angry about the car, which, yes, got damaged in a significant way, and he's taking it out on Alice? What if he's forbidden her from responding to Sarah? That would explain why Alice went silent and why he's the one who sent the angry message telling Sarah to back off. This is speculation, but it's important to consider because it changes how Sarah should approach this situation. Now let's look at this from the husband's point of view, because he's not entirely without reason here. That was his car. Not a rental, not some beater vehicle. His car. And it's now, well, it's been through a birth. There's blood, there's amniotic fluid, there are other bodily fluids we don't need to detail. This isn't something a regular car wash can fix. Depending on the car, this could mean replacing seats, complete interior detailing, maybe even affecting the resale value. We're potentially talking thousands of dollars in damage, and from his perspective, Sarah offered to pay for cleaning in a light-hearted message. Maybe that didn't feel serious enough to him. Maybe he's thinking, "You destroyed my car and you're making jokes." He's also probably angry that his wife went through something traumatic. He might be watching her struggle emotionally and feeling protective and helpless. Is his response perfect? No. Telling someone to stop messaging his wife and adding a sarcastic, "Thanks for ruining my car," isn't constructive, but hurt people often respond poorly. The question is his reaction purely about the car and his wife's well-being, or is there a control issue here? That's something only the people involved can really know. Now, Sarah's side. She's 2 weeks postpartum, she's dealing with a newborn, recovery from complications, the fact that her wife missed the birth. That's a lot. But she's also genuinely grateful to Alice and genuinely wants to make things right. She offered to pay for cleaning. She's been trying to reach out. She cares about this friendship. Where Sarah might have gone wrong is in the approach. A light-hearted offer to pay for car cleaning 2 days after giving birth in someone's car might not have landed the way she intended. It might have seemed dismissive of the severity of what happened, and continuing to message when Alice isn't responding, while understandable, might be making things worse if Alice genuinely needs space. Sarah's heart is in the right place, but the execution has been missing the mark. So what are the actual problems here? Let's break them down. Problem 1. Trauma response. Alice may be dealing with genuine trauma and needs professional support, not text messages. This requires time and possibly therapy. Problem 2. Communication breakdown. Nobody is actually talking. Sarah is texting into a void. The husband is sending angry messages. Alice is silent. Real communication has completely stopped. Problem 3. The financial issue hasn't been resolved. Sarah offered to pay for cleaning in a light-hearted way, but this might need serious money. The husband's anger suggests he doesn't feel adequately compensated or even seriously acknowledged. Problem 4. Possible third-party interference. If the husband is controlling Alice's responses or preventing her from engaging with Sarah, that's a much bigger issue that Sarah can't fix alone. Problem 5. Mismatched expectations. Sarah expected gratitude and continued friendship. Alice and her husband expected, what? An apology? Serious compensation? Space? We don't know because no one has actually communicated. So how does Sarah fix this? Here are the concrete steps. Step 1. Stop texting directly. The husband has asked Sarah to stop messaging Alice. While his tone was harsh, there might be a good reason Alice needs space. Respect that boundary for now. Step 2. Send one final written communication. Not a text, a handwritten letter or a carefully crafted email. In it, Sarah should acknowledge the seriousness of what happened without being lighthearted, express genuine gratitude for Alice's help, apologize for any trauma Alice experienced, make a concrete offer to pay for all car-related expenses, not just cleaning, but repairs, replacement parts, professional detailing, whatever is needed. Include a check or bank transfer for a significant amount as a starting point, at least $1,000 to $2,000. Give Alice space and let her know Sarah will wait to hear from her when she's ready. Step 3. Go through a mutual friend. Sarah mentioned this in her edit. This is smart. Have a mutual friend check on Alice's well-being without mentioning Sarah. Just, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. Are you okay?" This gives information without pressure. Step 4. Actually pay for everything. Don't just offer, make it happen. Contact the husband directly about the car repairs. Ask for receipts. Pay immediately. This shows this isn't just words. Step 5. Consider professional mediation. If Alice is willing, suggest meeting with a neutral third party, maybe a counselor or mediator, to talk through what happened. This acknowledges the seriousness and gives Alice a safe space. Step 6. Prepare for multiple outcomes. Alice might need months to process this. She might never want to resume the friendship. She might come around in time. Sarah needs to prepare emotionally for all of these. Step 7. If there's a control issue, recognize the limits. If the husband is controlling Alice's communication, Sarah cannot fix that. She can only leave the door open and hope Alice reaches out when she can. Here's the thing about this situation. It's messy because real life is messy. There's no clear villain here. Sarah didn't plan to give birth in her friend's car. Alice didn't plan to witness an emergency birth. The husband didn't plan to have his car damaged. Everyone is dealing with unexpected consequences of an uncontrollable situation. But the key to moving forward is acknowledging the full weight of what happened. This wasn't just an inconvenience. It was potentially traumatic for Alice. It was expensive damage for the husband, and it was a vulnerable moment for Sarah. The path to reconciliation requires three things: genuine acknowledgement of harm, concrete action to make amends, and respect for boundaries and healing time. Sometimes friendships survive these tests and come out stronger. Sometimes they don't. But the only way to know is to approach it with full sincerity, humility, and respect. If you've ever been in a situation where a crisis damaged a relationship, or if you have thoughts on how to handle this, drop them in the comments. And remember, when life throws you unexpected challenges, how you respond in the aftermath matters just as much as how you handled the crisis itself. Take care of each other out there.